I have a built-in vacuum cleaner on my boat. It has a long and very flexible hose. It can get anywhere, from boat to stern, inside the boat and on the deck. It's located here under the stairs, and it's easy to service. Remove and change dust bags. All this is very good and convenient. When you travel on a boat for several weeks, a vacuum cleaner is quite necessary. But it isn't powerful enough. It's just a toy. With such a long hose and such power, I have to grab every speck of dust with my fingers and give it to him, so that he deigns to suck it up. The vacuum cleaner is built into the AC compartment, and there is enough space for the larger vacuum. But I didn't find anything suitable. Either the shape isn't what I need, or the power isn't enough. So I decided to redesign this vacuum and make it more powerful. It was made non-separable. The plastic cover was welded in 18 places. They had to be drilled out to get to the electric motor. This motor has very modest dimensions. And this is the motor I bought, and I am going to install it instead of my old toy motor. See what a difference in size, and accordingly in suction power. I hope this power will be enough for me. I also needed a 2-inch through-hole fitting to vent the air to the outside, and 2 additional air duct hoses, also 2 inches each. This long transparent hose is for air exhaust to the outside. Now I have to try to somehow squeeze in a new motor, 3 times larger than the old one. To do this, I'll cut the housing and figure out how to secure the new motor in it. The body is plastic, and it's quite easy to cut. I just have to be careful with the dimensions. After each cut piece of plastic, I try it on the motor, because I am afraid to cut off too much. This is repeat many times. I cut and try on, cut and try on again. After numerous adjustments, the motor finally fits the housing in size, and the front panel can be closed. Now I have to make stands to hold the rubber motor mounts. I'll make them from aluminum angle. And again, the main thing isn't to make a mistake with the sizes. Everything fits perfectly. I can put them in place and continue adjusting. Now the aluminum angles has to be bolted to the plastic body. 4 bolts for each angle. But for the third rubber mount, I had to make a special stand from a sheet of stainless steel. It looks unsightly, but it does its job. I also bolt this stand to the plastic case. There are 8 bolts here. The motor is securely mounted and moves well on the rubber without touching the plastic housing. To prevent nuts and bolts from losing due to vibration, I coat all threads with liquid locking agent. To cover the motor from behind, I made this little box, and I made it out of a flower pot. I couldn't find anything better, but in my opinion, it looks not bad. I won't have a dust bag, so I bought a silicone hose to connect the turbine to the vacuum cleaner's inlet. But it turned out to be very soft, and I am afraid the vacuum will flatten it. So I made a spring out of an old sprinkler and inserted it into the hose. Now I think no any force will flatten this pipe. For reliability and tightness, I install clamps. Now the electrical part. The new motor is larger in size, and the length of the wires is not enough for connection. I had to extend the wires a little. I am installing a thermal fuse from the old motor. For some reason, the new one didn't have any fuse. I carefully lay and secure all the wires inside. Now I can try to turn it on and check if I have mixed up anything. Everything works fine and I can install the front panel. The front panel will be attached with 18 bolts. I couldn't think of anything better. That would be both reliable and nice at the same time. This 18 bolts looks pretty good, I think. This is what the vacuum looks like assembled on the panel. I also bought a cyclone from AliExpress to get rid of the dust bag. But I didn't like it very much. It has a central pipe, the exhaust pipe is very short. And it turns out that part of the incoming air immediately gets into the exhaust pipe without cycloning, without separating the dust. I wasn't lazy to find all the dimensions the cyclone needs to have to work effectively. I picked a tube of the right diameter. It was a bottle of hair dye that my wife uses. I cut out the length I need and extended the exhaust pipe to the correct size. For the dust collector, I picked up a sealed plastic box from Publix. It's the right size and rigid enough. Vacuum won't flatten it. For reliable installation of the cyclone, I made a stand. It will be attached to a vertical surface, and the cyclone will be inserted from above. The cyclone won't fall out of it in any storm, I hope. I also added a soft pad made of foamed plastic, so that cyclone sits tighter and doesn't transmit vibration. I couldn't glue this pad, so I screw it with 4 bolts. To make it easier to install the vacuum, I removed the ladder. I want to install a cyclone with a dust collector, opposite the AC filter. This will make it easier to get to and clean it. There are 8 screws in total, 4 for each leg. Now I have to finish the dust collector and seal the cyclone. After that I can begin the final installation of the vacuum cleaner. I want to install a through-hole fitting here, so that the air from the vacuum goes straight outside instead of flying around the boat and kicking up excess dust. The boat's cabin isn't big, and my powerful garage vacuum made a vortex inside. This one will do the same probably if I leave the exhaust inside. I wipe this place with acetone, so that silicone sticks better. And install the fitting, having previously coated it with silicone. This fitting is visible inside the AC compartment. I tighten the nut, first by hand and then with a wrench. I wrap the fitting with plumber's tape and install the exhaust hose with a counter slope to prevent rain and splashes from getting inside. Now the pipes. After the pipes, I put the dust collector on the cyclone. I connect the last hose, the exhaust hose, to the vacuum. And now I can finally install and connect the vacuum cleaner itself. Works great. 10 points. I am very pleased. I'll probably have to make the same at home. Access to the dust collector is very easy. I just have to remove the air filter. There is just a little bit of work left. I close the electrical panel and put the cabinet door back in place. And now the very last thing. I have to install the stairs. It's not difficult at all. And after that I can say, that's it, the job is done. And there is still a lot of other work ahead of me.